I think Sorokin is so very important to get this kid moving in the right direction. I think he's one of the top 3, top 4 goaltenders in the NHL, and he's proven it really for the last couple of weeks. This wasn't a game that I can really brights up who he is as a player, but what do you think? Do you think he is the key for the Islanders to go all the way this year and maybe be a Stanley Cup contender?
I don't know if I would say he's the key. I think them getting the necessary scoring is the key, but the way I see Sorokin, and you were talking about it just now, he's one of the best goaltenders in the league. And tonight was an off night for him. It happens. Probably have a bounce back game the next time he starts, whether it's in Dallas or in Toronto.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if maybe you can. Maybe he does it. Their playoff hopes and Stanley Cup aspirations hinge on him, but I don't think they do at this moment in time. I think them being a playoff contender and them fighting for a Stanley Cup does hinge a bit on him because he is that good and he can carry this team. But you can't also forget about Semyon Varlamov because he's a very, very capable backup, and he's shown it again this season.
He also
him. Last year
was a fluke. I can't stand
I don't know why.
him.
Last year was the way I'm watching him this year, last year was a fluke for him, just like it was for a lot of guys. He's still very valuable, and
they're going to trade him.
I don't know. See, I can't give that a yes or no if they're going to do that.
I think they.
I just can't right now.
Not right now, but I think at the trade deadline, if they're looking for an offensive firepower to help Barzal, on that first line, Varlamov is a guy that there's a lot of teams looking for that goaltender. Maybe trading Varlamov for him.
You might be right, but if you could keep Varlamov and have that 1-2 punch at least till the end of this year, I really don't think they trade Varlamov unless they bottom out, which I can't see happening with the way they're playing so far. I mean, unless things go completely haywire, then you trade him and get something back for him. But the way him and Sorokin, their relationship, you don't mess with that. I really don't think you mess with that unless you have to make a decision that, all right, it's time for him to go. It's not the time right now. After this season, it could be, but who knows? They could possibly bring him back if he wants to take, a pay cut, come back on a 1 or 2 year deal, making $2.5 million. That helps the Islanders out a bunch. So I can't, the way you're describing Varlamov, I think I understand why you think it's necessary to trade him to get a score, but the way that the team is playing this year, and you're seeing guys step up,
I agree.
Who knows where this team will be by the trade deadline? Hopefully in a playoff spot, but I don't think trading Varlamov is the right move right now, unless things just don't work out this season. That's really how I see it.
Just so everybody knows, everybody that took shots at Lou Lamoriello, that he didn't get his guy and that he's past his time. I don't think anybody's saying that again. This is the same guy for 4 years. He's been there. This is his 5th year with the Islanders. He's been a 2-time GM of the year. So just so for everybody to take shots at a guy that they think he's past his time, this could be another year that somehow the Islanders get into the playoffs. And I'm saying somehow because I don't know what's going to happen as the season progressively opens up for these teams. And he makes a trade at the trade deadline, which he's done, back-to-back years where he was GM of the year because of those trades. Nobody's going to say he's past his time. So I think that the Islanders are in a very good position to be a very successful powerhouse team in the Eastern Conference this year. Rob, we really appreciate you joining us. You're fantastic. Keep up the good work. I've been reading all your stuffs, man, since you left with the Islanders, now working for the NHL, and I just love what you're doing, man.
I appreciate that, guys. I really do.
Absolutely. We were just talking to NHL.com and NHL media producer Rob Taub. We'll have him on again, guys. Don't worry. As the season progressively comes to an end, I'm sure he'll have his own thoughts to his Islanders, my Islanders, yes, on where the Islanders could go at the trade deadline. That's when we'll have him on because I think it'll be really, really fun because trade deadline's so interesting. It really is.
Will the Islanders trade Varlamov?
I think they will. I know he doesn't think so, but I think they will. I really do. I think – I don't know if they're bringing him back because he could start on any other team. There are teams that would love a guy like Varlamov. Edmonton, they made a move. They added Campbell, right?
Campbell,
Campbell, and he was a good goaltender, but Campbell's not the same goaltender he was last year. Okay, they've always looked for a goaltender. There are other teams that are always looking for a goalie. So Varlamov could start on any other team. And I remember when he came from Colorado, and Speedy, you didn't like the move when the Islanders brought him there.
No, because he was fluky. He had that one great year, then was average pretty much after that. That he kind of did the same thing with the Islanders. Had the breakout first couple seasons, and then all of a sudden it wasn't there for him.
Well,
it just shows you like the thinness of the goalie position right now too. Like there's only like a few really top ones right now.
Yeah, the problem with Varlamov and what bothers me about Varlamov in games that I want him to play well against teams that I think he should be playing well against, he plays and he lays up a lousy goose egg. And then there are games that I've seen him play against better teams, and I'm like, oh, where is this guy? Where has he been all this year? So I don't know. And he can't beat the Rangers. For some reason, he can't beat the Rangers. It really makes me sick.
Yeah.
When I watch the Rangers beat him.
That makes up for the 8 years we had to witness Halak just own the Rangers when.
Wait. Sorry, are you saying Varlamov can't beat the Rangers?
They can't beat the Rangers.
Yes, he can. He's 5-0 against them in his past 5 games.
Really?
Yeah, and Shesterkin is 1-7-1 against the Islanders in his career so far.
I don't think so. I think the last two times this year, Sorokin played against them.
No, Sorokin played the first game, shut him out, and then the Islanders won the last game 5-4. That was Varlamov.
Varlamov won that game, yes.
Yeah, and he's won 5 straight at Madison Square Garden against them.
5 straight against Madison Square Garden. He hasn't won 5 straight against the Rangers because he lost.
Well, no, but he owns them at the Garden.
Yes, he owns them at the Garden. Yes,
he's owned them. He's actually really owned them since he came here too. It's not just at
what is his record, Speedy? I want you to look up his record against the Rangers since he's been an Islander, because that's interesting to me. Because every time I watch him play against the Rangers, and I'm not talking about the Garden, when he's at the Coliseum, he doesn't win. So it really bothers me. And it doesn't matter. They played Gorgiev versus Varlamov last year. Gorgiev always beat Varlamov last year whenever he played against Varlamov. Maybe not Shesterkin, but Gorgiev. But we'll definitely look up that number. Every time I watch him play against the Rangers, he loses. I guess I don't watch all the Ranger Islander games. I'm very busy. As everybody knows, we talk all sports, but I am a huge Islander fan, and I always want to see what the Rangers do and what the Islanders do against one another. And I've watched almost every single Islander game this year. I didn't watch tonight's game. That's only the second game out of what? How many games have played? 15? 17?
18.
18 games?
18.
I've watched 16 out of 18 games this year, and I've watched all the minutes and periods for those games. So I'm rooting for the Islanders. I want the Islanders to be a dominant force in the NHL because I want to shut every doubter out. The Ranger fans can't stand the Islanders, and it makes me laugh. When I was at the Islander Ranger game at the UBS Arena, and Sorokin shut him out, it was the funniest thing. After the game, it was so loud with the Ranger fans. There were so many Ranger fans. It was like a ghost town walking out of the stadium, and the Islander fans just gave it to the Ranger fans. Gave it to them. It was so funny.
7-5-1 he is against the Rangers since he's joined the Islanders.
Well, that's not
overall
bad.
in his career 12-8-2.
Oh, that's good. But 7-5-1, it's no. But every time I watch him play against the Rangers, he loses. I guess in the Nassau Coliseum, the UBS Arena, he just for some reason maybe he's 5-0 against the Rangers at Madison Square Garden.
But Rob is right on this though. He does have 5 shutouts. Oddly enough, he had one at the end of last season, April 1st last season. 2 at the end of the 2021 season, the shortened season, and then 2 earlier.
What's
right
his
at the
goals
beginning
against the Rangers?
At the beginning of that season, 2.52.
That's good.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Every time I see him play him, he doesn't win. So
No, it's hit or miss.
I've been to 3 Ranger Islander games in the last 3 years, and every single one of those games, except this one with Sorokin, where he won 3-0. 2 out of the 3 he lost against Shesterkin one game, and he lost against Gorgiev. So the
game against Shesterkin, that was the first game the two teams played at UBS Arena last year. The Islanders were playing with basically an AHL lineup. So
what is he?
I just thought I'd throw that little fact in there.
12-8-2, but can't beat them. Haha. Good call, dummy. Oh, there's Jeff with his stupidity. Thank you. Jeff, always being stupid, as always, on our feed. That comes from a Boston Bruin fan that said, "Oh, I'm sorry, the Bruins were going to be horrible until the second half of the season." Did he not say that? Yes, he did. And the Bruins are one of the best teams in the NHL. That just shows you how stupid you are, dummy, because you don't know anything.
They're as surprising a team right now as any. I did not expect them to be.
Me neither.
The way they've been playing, I thought the injuries were going to finally catch up to them, and they were going to finally take a step back, but they're just proving again that they're still the Bruins, and don't count them out.
Yeah, and
I was thinking Ottawa and Detroit would improve,
and that comes from. And by the way,
I think it's still early for them. I think they're still in the beginning phases.
Yes,
I mean you saw with Detroit, Ottawa. I still think they need to get a few more pieces. Buffalo is starting to come back down to earth. Even though I thought this year was going to be when I thought they were going to make their jump this year. But they still need goaltending, and they're waiting on their franchise goaltender. Hopefully, it will be there next year.
You're talking about Ottawa, right?
No, I'm talking about the Sabres.
Oh, the Sabres.
Yes.
We'll see. We'll see.
They're always good for a month and a half, and then just fall off the rest of the season. They're basically the Colorado Rockies of hockey.
Thanks, Rob. We really appreciate you, man.
Appreciate you guys having me. Thanks.